And everything, I have a video of everything I'm going to show y'all with me talking on the R drive and the N drive in the Ferguson folder. There's a LiveBinder folder, and there's also the documents that I'm going to show you with the links and the instructions. So, so if you go to livebinders.com, it opens a page, and the initial page that opens up, I've already logged in, but the initial page that opens up actually has some really good instructional videos and stuff. So if you wanted to go back and look at it. But LiveBinders is it's an online notebook, okay? And you can see that they've even designed them to look like notebooks. And then the notebooks have tabs across the top, just like how you would tab a notebook. So anything that you use a notebook for in your classroom, you could use a LiveBinder for. And I'll show you, I'll scroll down a little bit. This right here, these are just kind of test ones, but this one right here is a LiveBinder that I did this summer. I had to do a presentation, and what I wanted to do was share a bunch of the activities that I use in my classroom with other teachers. The trouble with sharing that was I was going to have to obviously I wasn't going to make copies for everybody, so I wanted to do that electronically, and to post them somewhere, they had to be password protected, or else I would have broken copyright law. Because a lot of the things I do in my class I've taken from other places. So I was trying to figure out what the best way to do that would be and how I could utilize my Moodle page, and that didn't seem to be very feasible. So I had gone to a professional development, and one of the topics was LiveBinders. I was like, all right, I'll try it. So I created this LiveBinder. So this is my LiveBinder, and then these are all my tabs. And you can see that it opens up to my presentation PowerPoint. And so this was my presentation. Let me see if I can make this better for y'all. Okay, so as I was going through my PowerPoint with the group and we were having conversation, this is available to them. So if it has a link to a document, those are what all my tabs are across the top. Okay, but it also lets you embed, let me find one that's got, it also lets you embed websites. Okay, so what I did was I created this binder, and I put in, and so that's my PowerPoint, and I gave them all the helpful websites, and then as tabs, they have all of these activities. And so I created this as a private binder, and I saved it with an access code. And then what I did was I put the link to my LiveBinder on my Moodle page and gave everybody my Moodle page address. They clicked on the LiveBinder and they had the access code. So they could go in and have all of these resources available to them and have all these web links also. So it turned out really, really well. I'm going to show you, it was easy to use. It was really pretty easy once I got the hang of it. And I'm going to show you how to put things on your tabs in a few minutes. This is the one, so this is where you would start a new binder, and this is where you would create a shelf. So theoretically, you could create like a bookshelf for yourself. So if you had personal things, if you had school things, if you had if you had different preps and you wanted one for Spanish 1 and one for Spanish 2, you could have different shelves to organize your binders. So I created a shelf called Career Prep Resources, and then these are just some binders that I've added to that shelf. So if you see these binder categories in the educational searches, there's just tons and tons of binders out there. And then you can put them on your shelf and you can look through them and use them later. So these are all public and they've been shared. So this is the one that I went to the conference, and the cool thing is, she gave me the author name, and then you can also go search binders by author. So if somebody does some really good stuff and you want more of their stuff, you can search them that way too. So I gave you a link to this binder. So when you start going back in and playing, she's got what are LiveBinders, and a lot of the things that she accesses, some of the things are actually straight from the LiveBinder website too. And then she's got information on how to create your account. and it shows you, and creating your account, if you look at this, is just filling out a form, just like anything on the internet. And then she's got, this is LiveBinder tool, and just honestly, I don't know how it works, but she's got some tabs. I've never done this because I'm not a website organized person like I wish I were, but you can go in, it's just another tool, you know there's thousands of them, to keep up with the pages that you've bookmarked. And then she goes into how to create the binder that I'm going to show you, and the tabs and subtabs, and how to add content. So this is a great resource. She also gives you examples from teachers that are junior high and high school teachers, and then she gives you student examples, and I'm going to show y'all one, because it's cool. Alright, this student created a LiveBinder, and evidently this is his written reflection. Okay? And then he has his artifacts across the top. And so if you click on his artifact, he's got some subtitles to this one. Okay? And then he's got different things. This one's the one that's really cool. For his music artifact, he's got them across here. And if you click on one of the subtabs, it opens up the song, and then you can play the video.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock.
So that's pretty
5, 6,
cool.
7 o'clock,
So I guess imagine for a student, and I'll show you how I've used a student project in my classroom too. And I also have the instructions out there if you wanted to do this with your kids. So just, I don't know, I just think this is so cool that they could go in and they could create all this. And the beauty of this is they take it home with them. So, you know, they have access to this account for forever and forever until LiveBinder goes away, as opposed to their P drive, which gets wiped away at the end of the semester. So, on the, whichever drive you choose, R or N, I've got this page for you. And it's got a copy of, this is the LiveBinder's binder. This is my LiveBinder link in my access key if you wanted to look at that. And then these two are LiveBinders that my students did. And I'm going to show these both to you because they did them a little bit differently. Ashley's is really good and really, I like the way this looks better, but this is a private binder, and it has an access code. And what that means is LiveBinders gives everything a unique and crazy address. Okay? If you were to accidentally go to this LiveBinder, you couldn't get on it without access. Without that access key. Hear it twice. So, and here's what I was worried about. When my students did their project, what I wanted to create was a employment portfolio, so that they would have, this was an activity that we did where we took all of our interest surveys and all that and put it together. And then they had their academic plan, their college research, their cover letter, their resume. This one bothered me, having it stored on the internet, because the students gave their name and their address and their phone number and their activities and their high school, and for some reason that was just like a stalker's dream. You know, I know this kid, I know what grade they're in, I know, and so that concerned me about putting it in a portfolio. So what I learned was, you can't get into the LiveBinder without the access key. Chances are, a private LiveBinder you'd have a hard time finding without the link anyway. So it's hard to find the link, and then you've got an access key. However, these documents are not really protected in the sense that if someone accidentally came across this link or Googled just the right thing and managed to find this, then they could open this Word document. Finding it would be really hard. Because I did some Google searches seeing if I could find the information I put on mine, my private one, and I couldn't. So someone would have to be
Well, we copied and
very
pasted
intentional.
that.
We
into
copied
a
and
Word
pasted and
document,
it wouldn't
and it said
open.
content not available.
Right. So it was real. So I don't know. so I don't know, LiveBinder just gives out
So
warning.
like even if you block it or use access code or whatever, if you still know that URL, you could potentially
We,
get to
we
it?
We
tried it,
and it
And it
wouldn't
just
and
work.
it
wouldn't
wouldn't
work.
open.
Okay.
It comes to a LiveBinder like email or like the URL pops up, but then it says content not available.
If
Yeah.
you're not blocked, like
If
if you
it's
don't have it
public,
blocked.
it's public,
So if you typed in that URL, then you'd be fine.
then you would be
Okay,
fine.
I'm just wondering,
And
not
so-
that I know what I
And
would
so on
matter.
this, like this right here, these addresses right here, these two web addresses, they're LiveBinder addresses. So when you're finished with your LiveBinder, you get these addresses and you can share those. I can email them to y'all, y'all can click on them. This is what I put on my Moodle page, but it had an access key. But this one, wide open. So if you have a LiveBinder account, you could have searched for it, or if someone gives you the link. And you know you can go in, there are tools that allow you to go in and shorten links so they don't look so messy, but I'm lazy. So Asha, when she created hers, she put the Word documents. She uploaded the Word documents into her LiveBinder. Okay? Allison actually followed my instructions. Asha's was really good though. She did a good job, and Asha's was easier to do. Okay, it took less steps. All she did was put her Word documents in there, and that's probably the way it should.
This is Allison Ferguson?
Yeah.
Well, of course, hers is perfect.
Of course. So Allison put hers. So what Allison did was she created her tabs, and then she went in and she copied her document and pasted it into LiveBinder. So this information, it's not a document, so it has that extra layer of security. No, I'm not sure that you can really actually get those documents. LiveBinder just doesn't say, just says, even though it's access code protected, it might still be possible.
I think they're putting a disclaimer to
They
cover their
are,
butt.
they are.
Just
That's
in
exactly
case.
what they're doing, and that's why I'm kind of telling y'all that. So then this is her academic plan, and so this is her college research, and she just copied this from her Word document and pasted it into this window. And she did her cover letter and her resume, and she just pasted it in there. So the nice thing about Asha's is for future, Asha can open it on any computer, and she has a Word document. Okay, Allison could open hers on any computer, but she's going to have to copy this and paste it, and chances are good there's going to be some formatting issues. So when I did mine and I put all those tabs across the top, I put the document in there because I wanted other teachers to be able to open it and manipulate those documents. So this is how I use it in a classroom. One of my standards is to create an electronic portfolio. So this is what we try. Let's see. These are the instructions. I'll just show you all this, and then I'm going to kind of go through a new one so you can see how it works, and then we'll play. But these are the instructions that I gave my students, and these are on the R drive and N drive for y'all, and these would be applicable to y'all too. So you can see that it's a lot of instruction. And so go here, click here, and then I told them exactly what I wanted them to put in. So how I graded their LiveBinder was they copied their link, they pasted it into a Word document, they posted that Word document to Moodle, and then I just went through Moodle and opened their LiveBinders. But I gave them, if you'll see, so this was their information. I told them how to set up their account so that we could remember it. And then in their instructions, I gave them the access key. So they were all supposed to use AJHS for their access key. So this is how you will create a blank binder. You click on Create New Binder, and then you fill this out. So right here, you have to put a description. So your description might be education, your description might be gardening, whatever. And then right here, you can put tags if you wanted to. And then that makes it easier for people to find. So public, everyone can see it, in private. And of course, they want your binders to be public because that makes their website more valuable, because they have more information. So this instruction sheet is on the drives for you guys so that y'all can see it. And then you could use this. And so I told them exactly step by step. Click on the plus to add a tab. These are the tabs I want you to have. Under each tab, these are the files I want you to upload. And so you could take this out and redo it for your own classroom, but you could still use, you're welcome to have this document. So I'm going to just go and create a pretend LiveBinder. So right here in my dashboard, I click start a new binder, and here's where and I'll call y'all third block, and my description will be third block. Okay, and I'm going to keep it private, and the access code can be third block too. And then I'm going to create a new binder. And once I do this is like I've opened my notebook. And so if I want to add tabs, I click here. If I want to add subtabs, it automatically gives me 3. And so I can just click right there and type whatever I want to type. And then I can insert material right here. And I can do all kinds of different things. They really like for you to enter websites so you can have web addresses. So if you wanted to, they give you that right here. But you can also do it by clicking on add content. I can insert a web link. I can upload a file. And this is just like if you were uploading a file to Moodle. You can add other content. So this is where that student uploaded his YouTube video. I've never done that, but I'm sure we can figure that out. And then right here, set text layout. This allows you to set the layout if you're just putting your text in a page. So this would be what Allison used. And she just used the default, and she just copied and pasted into here. This would be what Ashley used when she uploaded those Word documents. So, and then I uploaded the PowerPoint, and that's what was in my tab that you saw. So that's how you add content. I think it's pretty easy. And then you can go in, you've got some tab settings, and you can change colors and layout. And you've also got some binder settings, and this is where you can change the color. So you can see that the default is this blue-gray color, but you can select your binder cover, and you can upload a file. So I think what I did is I took a screenshot of my first PowerPoint screen or slide, and I used that picture to make my binder cover. And really, that's how easy it is. And you just have to go in and play with it. I'll show you this real quickly. So I think that LiveBinder has several purposes. It can be used in the classroom. I think it's got to be with a group of kids who can follow instructions pretty well. But once you get them, once you get them started, then I think that then the uploading and the creating of the tabs, I think they can handle. It would be a great project if you have to have some sort of, if you want to create something for them, almost like a takeaway. And then of course anything they would ever put in a notebook, it could be done this way too. So if you wanted them to do a weekly writing and you wanted them to keep it in a binder, they could do it this way. Just each tab would be the different week. If you needed a portfolio like mine, if I think we were talking about art would be really cool. They could put their art into a portfolio. And the really cool thing is they can share this with other people. They just need to send them the link and the access code. So,
Can I ask you a question? So binder and portfolio is the same thing?
what, binder and portfolio are the same thing.
Okay,
Yes.
just that.
Yeah. So, because just like if you went to go.
So I can develop like a unit
Mhm.
and have it in a,
You could have a binder,
Yeah.
just like think about how you put all your lesson plans in a
Yeah.
binder. Same thing.
uh-huh.
Except you're putting, however you're setting up your tabs. So how sweet would that be if I set up my lesson plan, so next year when they had to teach my class at the high school, they could see each standard and they could click on a standard and each one of the tabs had all the activities that I did, the sub-tabs. That would be a sweet deal. And what's really cool is that's what these things are. So if you go over here and look, they have a whole list of education things. So if you were, let's say you were interested in using some technology tools in your classroom, you could go to this Web 2.0 tools, and it's going to pop up all the binders that fall under that category. And so look, you can just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll.
So there's a lot of free resources on there as
Yeah.
an educator. If you don't decide to use it in your classroom with your students, you can still have a place to go to find free stuff for
Right.
those that made them public.
So, and that's really cool. The girl who did the author of that one I was showing you, she did a really good one with like, she does really good tech tools. And most of hers are like free resources. So, I just think I can't tell you what an easy way it was to share information with that binder this summer. And then for my kids who have to create an electronic portfolio, it really went well. I've only done it with 2 classes, and they're both really good classes. So I'm fixing to get to the point where I need to do that with my next class, and I'm a little concerned because the kids in those classes don't seem to have the same initiative to follow instructions and figure things out, and it's just going to be this Farguson fest. But it's really not that complicated.
With a small enough group like what Rachel and I have, we have a set of documents that have to be sent to the State Department every year. They're reevaluating that, and it may go like as a whole instead of each grade each year.
Mm-hmm.
How hard would it be for us to have 5 accounts within under hours to have 5 kids to send on to her next year with all their information and all their material? Like,
Just do 5
You
binders.
could just do
Create
5
5
binders.
and
You
then
could have one
do
account with a
tabs.
binder for each child.
because they probably wouldn't be able to put their own in, but I could see it being useful for us to use for them
Right.
to pass on to the next teacher in
Right.
the next
But
grade.
even like with your group, if you wanted to create like an online portfolio of just the work that they did, even if they're not uploading it, you could upload it and at the end
Right.
of the year, email that to their parents and say, Ross, and here's art, and here's math, and here's whatever, and you could upload little snippets here and there and share it with their parents at the end.
And
of the year.
I think that if you logged in and you opened the binder and you helped them set up the tab, I bet they could help you either design the page or upload it. And
Oh, yeah,
so
at
you
least a
could
few
kind of
of them.
work on that. Yeah, definitely. And that's a great skill to have because things like this, eventually, this is what's going to happen when you interview for a job. I mean, there's going to come a time when you just can't go knock on the door and say, "Can I have an application?" They'll say, "You can go to www." So being able to upload things like this is a skill that you really need to be successful in college now and very soon in the world of work. So I just think this stuff is really, it's just kind of cool. It's just a different way to organize, which obviously the only one I have is the one I was forced to do for this summer. But I would love to go in and do it for my classes. And the other thing I was thinking is, if y'all did create the binders for each one of your students, it would be so easy because you would just go browse their work, anything they did on the computer you would have. Otherwise, you could take a picture of it and save it to your computer and put it. It would be.
Anything on their P drive, you'd
That would
automatically have.
that would really be an incredible tool. And you know how you could do it? You could do it, John Brown, 9th grade, and then sub-tabs, math first semester, math second semester, and have samples of their work. What a great tool that would be for their 11th grade teacher who wanted to look back and see, okay, this is what we were doing in 9th grade. What does our work look like today? And y'all could keep
for
something like
IEP
that.
meetings or reeval time, when you're looking at work samples.
You could even put like the letters that people wrote you and stuff like that about, I mean, it would just be a cool way to do it without having to pass a binder on.
Right.
So, and then with the access protection, I don't think anybody could get into those documents.
Confidentiality.
And you could always code, I mean, I don't have to be one that Fargus, I could be L Fargus, you could.
So this is like a B drive, but organized, even more organized.
And it's not
That
deleted.
can go with you wherever you go because you can log in.
You can access it from anywhere in the world
Yeah.
as long as you have internet.
Pretty.
So what lots of people do is they create, they use these binders and create photo albums or scrapbooks. And so they make a scrapbook, so each tab maybe has a picture, and then they can share it with grandparents across the country. Go to this link and click on it, and you can see the pictures. So, and you can also share web links and stuff like that.
About capabilities, how much can you put in there?
We looked at that. Let me see if I can go back and find where we found that.
Because
So-
a lot of times if you have a lot of movies and things from
Right,
YouTube that I
right.
save, for example, and I can save that as a link only and then go to, but how much can you download there?
This is the storage size, and I
Uh-huh.
really don't know how
I
much
don't
those numbers
understand, yeah.
mean. But obviously, if they give you a little bit, but then if you got to bump up, you have to pay. But you could always have different accounts if you wanted to have, you know, the accounts are free, you would just have to keep up with your usernames and passwords. But you could have different accounts for different classes, and then you wouldn't be storing all the videos in one account. So you might have to be creative with that. But it's pretty cool. So what I would love for you guys to do is, if you're interested in having a LiveBinder account, is I'll put these instructions up on
I
the
saw
board.
some prices there, and can you pay for the, with the school credit card?
I don't
If I had
think
to
so.
guess, Debbie Rice is not going to approve that, because it's $19.95 a month.
Oh, a month. And I'm not gonna do it, I'm just asking.
And I'm not saying that
You
you
know.
won't approve it, but
Yeah.
anything like that has to be pre-approved through central office.
Mhm.
So,
Anything that-
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a monthly charge.
Was it really $19.95 a month?
That's
Is
the
that
largest
crazy?
package.
Oh, the
It had
largest
all the
package.
perks and had like 50
Right.
gigabytes of space.
Yeah.
I
So,
see.
and I think you could set up your accounts cleverly so that you didn't
Have to
exceed
pay.
it. Right, right. So, anyway, if you go to livebinders.com and click there on the top right hand corner, there's a place that's called sign in or sign up, not log in because you don't have a login yet. If you want to fill this, you don't have to follow my instructions, but it just needs a username, an email address, a password, and then you can sign up and you got an account and you can go in and explore and play and
If
So this
nothing
is your
else, it's
playtime.
access to free stuff. Lots of free stuff.
tons of free resources.
Crazy.
And
Yes.
the one link that I gave you that was the girls link, I showed you one of her student examples. She has other student examples out there too. So that would be, you know, ways that you might be able to use it in your classroom.
Right, it's like, before we had a lot of things for free in the internet, like for Spanish, and now we have teachers pay teachers. We have to buy it, but it's not much, but see,
Let's look and see if
like
they
you
have
develop
anything.
a unit, and you do the work and you sell it to other teachers, and I can buy from you, and they are accepting the Auburn City Schools credit card, so that's good.
That's interesting.
Oh, is
It
that that
is.
pay?
Did
The
y'all
full-
buy,
The
y'all
full
buy from each
teachers
other?
pay teachers. They have a fantastic in any subject, any,
So they'll let you use your
anything.
instructional supply money for that?
Mhm. But it only costs you like $2, sometimes $2, $2.95.
Here, I
$4.
clicked on Spanish,
Uh-huh.
and these are all Spanish resources.
And they're free.
They're free. These are all things
And
that
other
people
people
share.
see, once you know that you can put that as teachers pay teachers, some of them are making lots of money.
I bet. I would pay somebody lots of money right on all.
Because they sell what they do.
If I
You
liked what they
produce-
did,
If you have a very neat unit on what you teach, put it in teachers pay teachers, and you sell it instead of giving it for free, and your work is compensated.
oh wow. So this is a Spanish one, and she takes you to her website, and she gives you PowerPoints and all kinds of, so all these tabs are different